Welcome, Sojourners. This is Jonathan with Sojourners Awake. This concludes the Crypts of Azarumme, the one-shot adventure from the Arcane Library. You can visit this adventure for your own purchase at www.thearcanelibrary.com. And a special thanks to all the wonderful players who jumped into this adventure and gave it their very best. I was very pleased with the results, and I think you, as the listener, will also enjoy. And so our story continues. The Sojourners prepared their much-needed vacation. Their final mission, given by Father Baird of the Church of Luck, was to apprehend the grave robbers. They discovered that these glowing bones animated nearby dead creatures into undeath and gravitated towards one another. Upon arriving back in Phandalin, the Sojourners discovered that Father Baird had been missing for 3 months. And Sister Gariel, in an attempt to keep the parish alive, impersonated the Father and gave the Sojourners the mission. Now, with the knowledge that Father Baird had gone missing and the grave robbers were instructed by none other than a deranged father to deliver dead bodies down a well, the Sojourners made straight away to uncover the mystery. What happened to Father? And more importantly, why? Sister Gariel, a young slender elf, led them down the well, but as they quickly surmised, foul play had already occurred. An undead ghoul of surprising intelligence impersonated one of the acolytes going about their meaningful tasks. They attacked Sister Gariel and another acolyte, tearing them down the well. The Sojourners sprang into action. Kalna called aloud the words from her tome, speaking into existence a formidable mound of earth and rock, securing one of the ghouls in place. She ducked out of harm's way, but not quick enough to incur a slash across her shoulder from a nearby undead. Indeed, they swarmed from the well, ready to apprehend the weak-willed. Dandelion quickly called out a word of encouragement to Kalna, and threw a dagger haphazardly as he ducked behind his more formidable hinfolk companion, Birdie. Birdie, the hinfolk, began to channel her primal instincts, and she triggered the weave of magic all around her past unpredictable effects. She began to harmlessly float up to the ceiling, whacking the ghouls along the way. Frode and Kay decided to take the more offensive approach and chase the kidnappers down the well, and discovered that a stone alongside the inner shaft had been removed and led laterally into the surrounding earth. They did much damage there, but were unable to catch their quarry, so they returned up to the cellar to reconvene. Kay, however, decided to go alone into the Underdark. After Frode and Birdie cleaved through the remaining ghouls, the Sojourners discovered the emerald glowing bones fell from their bodies as they collapsed. The Sojourners had now collected a left rib, a vertebrae, and a right humerus. This appeared to match what they found on the list earlier. Now the Sojourners took a deep breath and followed Kay into the Underdark. She unfortunately succumbed to this noxious abyssal presence and began to uncontrollably hum to herself. Now they had realized they stood in a finely carved ruin of the ancient empire of Azarumme, a land where vampires and werewolves ruled all creatures. Kalna discovered a large wall slathered in writing, which described beyond a crypt, and before them, a door. Unable to decipher all of the language, she had to rely on the others for a means to enter. Birdie attempted a single whack with her weapon and suffered a knock back into the ground. Frode then decided a team approach was best, and they pressed in all together. This worked, of course, but at a cost. For the blood began to quietly burst from their palms and acted as a key to open the door. And there beyond the crypt lay an open tomb, a glowing skeleton, and Father Baird. Welcome, children. So as Father Baird stands before you with glowing eyes, next to a skeleton, 4 ghouls stand in the corners of this room, this square room. They wait silently for their master. And the question to each of you is, as you enter into this room, to what are you paying attention to? And now might be an opportunity for you to question your surroundings. We shall begin with Kay, the young, slender elf. As you enter into this room, what do your elf eyes see?
Kay notices the ghouls in the corners. Obviously, she sees the skeleton and Father Baird. She definitely notices his glowing eyes, recognizing that he's not himself. But what she's looking at is she's looking at the ghoul in the far left corner, thinking that he, being closest to the skeleton, would be the first one to take out. And so she's strategically thinking how she's going to get to him and end his day before he can act on the group.
Kay's eyes quickly dart around, taking an offensive approach. Birdie, as you stumble into the room, what do you pay attention to?
Pay attention to the father, noticing if he has any weapons or if he has anything on him.
You quickly see that he is storing a magical beam of energy ready to strike in one hand. And in the other, he offers a hand of invitation. Dandelion, what are you paying attention to as you walk into this room?
So Dandelion, seeing Father Baird, like his friend, his confidant, in that, it's completely stunning him a little bit. And so once he kind of comes to his senses with that energy beam kind of in his face, he's just looking for a spot to hide. He's not he's looking for the darkest spot where he could slip into and just see what happens.
Go ahead and make a perception check then. And let's see if what you look for is found.
6 or a 13.
A 13, there's a small crumpled statue that has been knocked over. A single idol that has fallen to the ground that would be perfect for you to take cover behind. Frode, as you walk into this room, the magic of the exsanguination has not taken effect on you. You stride into this room, and to what do you pay attention to?
Well, the last time we were in a space, there was a portal that opened and a bunch of undead things came flying out of it. So I'm going to be looking around, make sure there's no holes in the ceiling, secret doors, secret trap doors. Basically going to be walking around the room, securing the room to ensure that there's only the entrances and exits that we already know about are the ones that we have to worry about. But I also am going to keep vigilant about these creatures here too. So I have to kind of do this quickly, scanning the room for this.
That is a lot, so I'll ask you to do a perception check to see if you are indeed mostly successful.
11 plus 6.
Ooh.
17.
Wait, your perception is plus 6.
Is that right?
That's pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah, plus 6.
Yeah, like you're just spidey senses, using every possible sense to listen and feel. You catch the wind that bursts up from this open tomb, and you sense the presence of an undead shadow. Father Baird is not alone, nor is he in control. Secondly, your eyes glance back and forth to the ghouls. 2 of them are injured. One of them you bashed in its kneecap, and one of them, Kay, bashed in its kneecap, and the other you slashed with your sword. The other 2 are remaining at full health. That is the opposition that stands before you. As of entrances and exits, there is always the door behind you, and that is all.
Okay.
I can imagine you struggling in this moment, for you did miss one piece of information. for time's sake. Kalna, to what are you paying attention to?
Did you say how big this room was?
40 by 40.
So 4 corners, like that means that they could be quite a bit away. So I don't know any of the information you just gave everybody else, so I'm looking at similar things. I'm looking for exits. Yeah.
Well, let me clarify.
Okay.
The purpose of the questions is to allow everyone to build upon the scene.
Okay. All right. So I do think I'm catching things too. I may or may not know. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so when it comes to you not knowing, if I specify only Frode picked this up, that's true.
Okay.
And then I leave it up to you to determine, would I know this? Would I also pick this up? But this is to allow for more of a collective storytelling.
All right. Where are light sources coming in from? Just us or?
Good question. Is anybody producing light at this moment?
Just the glowing skeleton, right?
That is true. The glowing skeleton is producing this eerie green light, and that is all you have at this moment.
Okay.
So any of you Hinfolk, you don't have any vision at all. I believe Kay might have dark vision, and Frode, due to his human ancestry, would not have dark vision at all. So the only thing you're relying upon is this glowing, dim green light from this skeleton.
Okay. All right. Well, I think I mean, I know we're doing perception right now, but I think the first thing I would do is create a light source. If there's no light source, if I can't see anything, then I probably would. I mean, even with the other stuff, I figure I can probably afford to do that, right?
That would be something you would do
okay.
as an action, but this is also an opportunity for you to gather an information. So if there's any piece of the puzzle that you are looking for in order to create the scene.
Right. The reason why I say that is because I'm most interested in knowing, I'm still interested in like the runes and the carvings and sort of the artistry of it all. And I know that we're engaged with somebody who looks ambivalent to us, right? Apparently, like is on one hand threatening, on the other hand is inviting.
Yes.
But I'm still sort of interested in the context of what's going on. So that's why I was like, is there a light source here? Can I see anything that would tip us off? I mean, I guess we already know what kind of thing we're dealing with from the previous room.
As you stand here, Kalna, what it appears like to you, as it did Dandelion so quickly ascertained, the glowing green eyes of Father Baird, indeed, it makes you suspect he has been possessed.
Okay.
How that happened, you have no idea why, but as he stands here in this crypt, he has unearthed something vile. And it is in the presence, it is in your presence, though you cannot see it.
Okay.
Some shadows.
So if that's a feel I'm getting, even though I can't see very much, can I do a perception check to see what has overcome him?
Yes, absolutely. I'll let you use perception or investigation, your choice.
Well, I would be using investigation then. It's a natural 20.
The shadow creeps from the tomb, gently places a wispy hand on Father Baird, and then enters into his body as Father Baird takes a strong exhale. This shadow, this ghost, this specter of the long-forgotten empire of Azarumme has been awakened by this priest and has been used as a host and is now attempting to accomplish raising this army of undead. And he motions towards the glowing green skeleton and says, "Behold, the Whisper Skull." And those of you with a bone on your possession begin to feel it magnetically drawn towards the Whisper Skull. I believe Birdie, Frode, and Kalna need to make a strength saving throw in order to avoid it ripping through your hands.
Another natural 20.
Buff wizard.
Apparently these are weighted dice.
That was a very buff wizard. Frode, what did you get?
Oh, me?
Mm-hmm.
Strength saving throw, yeah.
15.
Plus your strength.
Plus my strength is...
Sufficient?
Yeah.
2.
That was sufficient. The bone is just ripped from your person, but you incur no damage. Birdie, what did you get? Strength saving throw?
18.
18, that is also sufficient. So no problem with that. So here's what you see. The bone, the right humerus, moves from your person and snatches onto the body. It attaches to the skeleton. The vertebrae attaches to the skeleton. And finally, the left rib attaches to Father Baird's hand. He slaps it on the skeleton and says, "You've got to keep the ribs farther apart." And the skeleton begins to glow and animate and chant, calling forth the corpses in the ground to rise.
So we're rolling initiative?
I think you should roll initiative. Yeah. Well, we have initiative. We're gonna keep the same one. Baird. Excuse me. Yeah, let's do a fresh initiative. Let's do that.
Before that happens, can Dandelion slip into the shadows?
Yes, you looked for that. Yep. Good deal.
Thank you.
I'm still roughed up from a previous skirmish, right?
Yes. So what you see in this room, the ghouls begin to defend. Father Baird begins to take his stand, and he just simply offers you an invitation. As this skeleton begins to come to life, he asks, "Dandelion, I see you hiding behind there. Won't you join me? The Empire is rising once again, and there is no resisting it. To what do you say, my child?"
No, mate, I'm all right. Thanks though. Yeah, good luck with everything.
Okay. Frode, he stands before you and offers you the same invitation. The Empire is rising. You've worked for the Church of Luck so far, been a faithful steward of its principles, but there is no resisting this empire. Why don't you join us?
No way. I don't know you guys. I don't know what your intent is. All it's been is it's been hurting us and causing damage and turmoil, so no go.
Okay. With that, one of the ghouls brings forth Sister Gariel and holds her, barely breathing. You can see at this moment she is moments away from being unconscious. The ghoul kind of holds Sister Gariel by the arms, holding one hand around her throat. You can see that she's rolling in and out of consciousness. The Whisper Skull seems to be activating. Kalna, you can see that there are 7 bones that were placed upon the Whisper Skull that must be dismantled in order for the energy to subside. You saw the 3 attach to the skeleton, and you can guess that there are 4 more characterized glowing runes. If these 7 bones were removed, the Whisper Skull would be dismantled, and the life giving these intelligent ghouls would subside. Father Baird seems intent and confident that this mission will be accomplished and the corpses will rise. With that information, Birdie, you are up in the initiative.
I noticed the glow and I noticed the strange look in the father's eyes. So I'm going to go attack the glowing skeleton.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to rage. So
Okay.
I'm going
Wild
to cast
magic.
the wild magic.
Yikes. Okay. Well, that's a fun thing.
Birdie's angry that her employer is turned evil.
49. Okay. There's going to be a slight delay in that wild magic, so if you would just go ahead and proceed with your turn.
Okay, I'm going to rage and rush forward at the glowing skeleton thing.
Okay. You intend to attack it?
I'm gonna swing at it with my battle axe. 18 to hit.
Okay, so as you strike this skeleton, first of all, the wild magic begins to surge all around you, creating this effect of chaos. You cannot speak for 1 minute. For every time you open your mouth, pink bubbles begin to erupt out of you. So that's wonderful. As you strike upon this skeleton, you notice that your battle axe does no damage to it. Anyone seeing around it sees the 7 bones that must be removed begin to flare up in anger. And Birdie, in retaliation, you do take 2 points of necrotic damage. And it seems to have no effect.
I would like to think that when Birdie screams in her rage, we get the pink bubbles also.
Okay, next up in the initiative, Kalna.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask a really dumb question. You said that there are bones that are not attached to, and the Whisper Skull is the glowing skeleton that the thing. Okay.
It's the entire entity, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
and there's more that needs to be, and they're currently located where?
So, especially since you're a wizard, you can see the Whisper Skull is a skeleton made up of many bones, but there are 7 in particular that have runes upon them, indicating they must be removed
Got it.
in the correct order.
Oh, okay,
in order to deactivate this thing.
All right, and would I have, like, do I have enough familiarity with the room? I mean, what kind of proximity do I need to be in to solve this puzzle? To like, do I need to be closer? Can I read the runes? Is it pretty obvious? Does it take some discretion here? Like,
all right, the first clue you notice is that the humerus, the vertebrae, and the left rib attached itself to the skeleton in that order.
Okay, so
vertebrae, humerus, left rib.
Humerus, vertebrae, left rib. That was 5, 6, and 7.
Okay. All right, got it. All right, so I'm gonna. I guess the left rib is the first one to go. I'm gonna go backwards.
Yes.
And I don't know how I'm gonna do it. So Earthbind grabs a person and puts them in place. But can it be more discreet than that? Can it grab something or attempt to, or no, it doesn't work that way?
Yeah, as you get close to this Whisper Skull, you see that you have the intelligence to do this, but you don't have the strength.
Okay.
So that would be interesting using Earthbind. I would allow it if you did a high enough roll with your intelligence. Yeah, an Arcana check.
Okay. All right, so I'll do a Arcana check. 6 with +4 is 10. Probably not.
Yeah, you're not able to channel enough energy, so you would have to employ some other means of strength.
Okay. Like maybe call a tank over to attempt it. So is it okay if I call this the strongest among us? Rip off the left rib, I shout to the strong people.
Birdie?
Yeah.
Birdie's very
Birdie
close.
would just yell back and bubbles come out of her mouth.
Yeah, Birdie's otherwise occupied. Anyway, I'm sorry, Jonathan, what were you saying?
It's good. You still have an action if you would like to do that. What I will allow you to do is kind of like generate this leadership action so that the next person making their action under your direction would have advantage at doing so.
Okay. All right, so I get to do that, but I also get to take an action, or I do a leadership thingy?
Leadership would be an action, yeah.
Okay, all right, I will do leadership. Okay.
The other bones you see, for your information, there is a right foot, there is a left femur, a right rib, and a left tibia, or shin bone.
Okay.
Everyone can help with this, of course. You also have the former bones on your possession, the right humerus, or arm bone, and the vertebrae. Kalna has guessed very accurately that the left rib needs to be taken off first. The fun thing about puzzles is designed to tease your brain, so if you want to jump in. Otherwise, Kalna is going to use her action to kind of direct the next person making a performance. We're going to move to K.
Yeah, Kay was going to run for a ghoul, but when she hears Kelna say that, she's going to run up and try to remove the rib.
Okay. You can make a strength check.
13.
Okay, 13 is enough.
Okay.
The rib comes loose, and you can feel its magnetic pull trying to go back to the skeleton if you were to let it go. However, it is currently in your possession. What would you like to do with your movement or bonus action?
I still have a little bit more movement, so
Yeah.
I will use a key point to disengage, and then I'm going to move over. I think I'm going to move behind Birdie.
Going straight for the Whisper Skull. Cool. If you were to let go of this rib, you would know that it would go right back to the skeleton.
Okay.
Any questions you have?
No.
Okay. Frode, it is your turn.
So I just want to clarify, the rib he's holding, it's kind of like a magnet, but it's not like going to rip out of his hand. As long he can hold it with his own power. It
Yes,
doesn't,
as long
it
as-
doesn't
yes.
tear through something. It's just almost like a magnet with low power behind it. Do we know how far that reaches? Have we determined that yet? We're not sure about that yet, right? Do we also know have we gotten information or understood the abilities of these creatures or these ghouls? Like, are they bound by gravity, for example? Can they float like a spirit through the air? Are they bound by the normal rules of physics? Do we know that yet? I guess is the question.
Yeah, easy enough. So I love it. So the ghouls, are just as adherent to the laws of physics as you are.
Okay.
They
Except
are.
for these snapping rib things. That's the only thing.
Yeah, these snapping rib things. I love that you're paying attention to that because, yes, you can guess that you were 31 feet away before you walked into the room. If you were to take the bones 30 feet away from the Whisper Skull, you would deactivate the magnetic. It wasn't until you breached that 30-foot radius.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so what was I'm sorry, I just want to clarify that information. What was your original question again? You asked me what I want to do or what's going on?
Yeah, what do you want to do? Mm-hmm.
I think I want to draw my sword and see if I can, now that I know that you can remove the bones, but with effort, doesn't seem like a spell of some sort. I'd like to try to knock off the vertebrae, like either pry it or somehow use some kind of tool to knock it away and then grab a hold of it to pull it away from the skeleton.
I love it. Go ahead and make an athletics check then.
12 plus athletics? So 12 plus 5, so 17.
That is more than a 13, and that is enough. Frode has accomplished by pulling out successfully the vertebrae. Frode, as before, you sense the magnetic attraction it might have, but your quick wit has remembered that when you were at least 30 feet away, the magnet was not activated. If you could just get it away, it would dismantle the whole thing completely. And that is your action. Frode, something that we haven't discussed. You as a fighter, you have trained your body to push it beyond its normal capabilities. Once per day at this level, you can grant yourself Action Surge, which gives you an additional action. After you perform this, you must take a long rest before doing it again. But this might be an opportunity, unless you want to save it for later, in which you can push yourself beyond your normal boundaries and take a second action.
I want to do that. I want to push.
Okay. Yeah.
And the action is I want to get this out of the room because I've noticed that. And I'd like to remove the vertebrae into the hall or up, outside the doorway.
Okay. You could easily do that with your movement. So
I
you
wouldn't
still have, you still can use your movement and do another action if you would
So
like.
I could take
Fight.
another action to try to pry the humerus away in that order.
Yeah, you could. If you,
So
do another
that's-
athletics check.
I want to push a little harder and see if I can knock that away or pry it away with some type of
Okay.
action.
Another athletics check then.
And that is 4 plus
That might not work.
6. So I don't think I've got it, right?
You got a 10, right?
10. Yeah.
Yeah, 10 is actually sufficient. 10 is what I'm going for. So anything less than a 10 would have been a fail.
Okay.
Okay, so Frode apprehends the vertebrae, the humerus, and then you're going to use your movement to push yourself 30 feet out of the room.
Yep.
And as soon as you break that 30-foot barrier, the humerus and the vertebrae lose their glow and their magnetic attraction.
Okay.
Very cool. Wow, good round. Fighters, man. Wow. Dandelion. Let's see if you can top that.
Where is
crouching behind this statue? What would you like to do?
Where is the statue?
In the very center of the room.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, like
And
this little green.
so you said that 2 of them have already been injured on their way. Which 2 have already got damage to them? The ghouls.
The one that have the red dots.
The one that have the red dots. Okay, so they've already got damage to them, not the one holding Sister Gabrielle. So, all right, changes it a little bit. So Dandelion just kind of like hanging out there. He wants to throw a dagger at one of the ones that's already been damaged. He's not that strong, so he doesn't feel like he can do that. Which one looks the more worse off?
Equal as much.
Equal as much. Okay. So he's just gonna throw it the one that's closer to Kay and Birdie, and he's just gonna.
You going for a 13?
13. Okay, I got a non-natural 20, and
Nice.
He does 7 points of damage.
With that one ghoul, you sneak out behind your secret hiding place. You just haphazardly toss this dagger, and it lands right into the ghoul, implanting the dagger into its brain. It lays on the ground and seizes for a moment and lies still.
He's gonna say, "Oh, I got one. All right. Now you said get the rib that went on last, and he said something about keeping them furthest apart. So the other rib's probably the last one we take off then, just so you know. Counter, you're not very strong, right? Here, I think you can do it." And he's going to give her a bardic inspiration, a d6 on her roll, as well.
Okay, Kalna, you get a d6 to add to your modifier.
If you need it, you don't have to use it for 10 minutes. So.
Got it. Thank you. Sorry, I'm like trying to figure out the pattern in the bones. There's a puzzle here.
There is a pattern. Okay, Dan, is that all you want to do?
And then he's going to go back to cowering, if he can.
The bottom of the round. Okay, you are closest. I'll pick on Birdie. All right. So here's the challenge. Father Baird begins summoning this dark energy in this room, and every single one of you must succeed on a charisma saving throw.
Is this to be frightened? Because we're halflings, so hinfolk have advantage on that.
That is true. That is true. So your hinfolk capabilities are able to withstand. So yeah, it is against frightened.
Oh,
You're going for a 15 or higher.
I rolled a 15, but my charisma modifier is -1.
I got a
Okay,
24.
Success.
He's pretty charismatic.
Birdie.
I have a 19.
Success. Kalna.
I rolled a 5.
With advantage?
That's not with advantage. I don't know what my advantage is though.
Roll it again.
Yeah. Take the higher of the two.
12.
Plus your charisma.
And my charisma is +0, so it's 12.
That's not enough. Okay, Frode, what'd you get?
19.
Success. Okay, Kalna and Kay. You see Father Baird as a terrifying figure. He stands up before you, and his shadow behind him seems to grow and grow and grow. Your next action will be at disadvantage, but my question for you is, what frightens you the most? Kay.
What frightens me the most about Father Baird?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she acts real tough, but then she looks at him again and realizes that it's not actually him, and that there's something in there that's different. And she makes the mistake of staring into his eyes, and it just creeps her out.
Kalna, you look away from the runes for just a second, and you see Father Baird standing there as this ghastly skeletal figure. But why does it frighten you so?
Kalna is terrified. As fascinated as she is, she's also terrified by the idea of an entire society of vampires, basically an entire society that would end up like using hinfolk and humans and elves as basically food. And for some reason, the size of Father Baird makes her suddenly believe that, like, it's almost like an insight, almost like the scouring of the Shire. She just gets this insight about like a scouring of all people as being raised as cattle for food, and that's terrifying.
And the ghoul slashes at Birdie. That's going to be a 16 to hit you, Birdie.
That hits.
With 5 points of damage. Kay, the ghoul hits you with a 15.
Not good.
And 7 points of damage.
No, 15 was a miss. Sorry.
Okay. The ghoul tries to swing back at you, but even in your terrified state, you duck. Sister Gariel makes her first death save. The ghoul has her strangulated, and you can see that she is hanging on by her life. She's going to make a 15. She's fighting hard. Birdie, it is the top of round 2. How do you want to spend your turn?
I'm going to go over to the ghoul that has Sister Gariel.
Okay.
And I'm going to talk the entire time, but bubbles are just coming out of my mouth.
Okay.
I'm
You're
going
to incur an opportunity attack as you leave melee range. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. It's going to be 8 to hit you.
Nope.
Swing and a miss. All right. How do you want to spend your turn?
I'm going to whack that ghoul with my axe. I'm still raging, and I'm going to do it recklessly.
You going for a 13 or higher?
Just see Birdie like, I tried hitting this, it didn't work, so I'm gonna go hit that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
It's funny that barbarians have to use a lot of math.
You wouldn't think it.
Yeah, you would. Kalna, you're on deck.
Okay.
Just as a reminder.
give me 7 points of damage.
How much?
7?
Oh, 7. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Boom, you slash into it and hurt it badly enough for it to encounter you as a foe. For the meantime, it seems to release its grip on Sister Gariel. Well done. Kalna, it is now your turn.
Okay, so completely terrified by this terrible future that she's envisioning, she does the biggest thing she's got. She does color spray on the skeleton. Probably not going to accomplish anything, but in an effort to like basically blow the bones away from each other, I think she's just like super terrified. So I actually don't know how spells work. I don't know if I roll for them or do I just roll like I'm okay.
Some spells you
Sorry.
attack with by rolling, and some spells automatically work.
Okay.
And the creature has to make a save.
Okay. I don't know what color spray is. I'm sorry.
Here we go. You get to roll 6d10.
Yeah.
And the total number of hit points is how many creatures you can, or how many hit points you can affect.
Okay. So I roll 6d10 and then you determine.
I determine how many creatures that affects, yes.
Okay. All right. Got it.
And if you want to cast it as second level spell, which you can as a wizard, you can roll an extra 2d10. So 8d10 total.
Okay. I would do that. I'm terrified, so I'm going to blast everything I got at it.
Bring out your big guns, 8d10. Hey, you're on deck.
48 points.
That is really well done. Okay, you can affect 2 creatures. Who would you have done?
Well, I would have done everything to blast this skeleton into an explosion if possible, because I'm super scared about that. But
Well,
I'm responding in fear, I'm assuming, so I'm trying to be consistent
sure.
with that.
You can't respond to Father Baird, unfortunately, but you have 3 ghouls, and you can affect
Okay.
2 of them with 48 points.
All right, so I couldn't, like, my desire was to blow this white skull into a big explosion. That was my ultimate goal. But if it's basically gonna bounce off of that thing,
Mhm.
then, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
assuming
going
over,
to
right?
it's going to blind the creatures.
Okay. So I guess the other 3, if they're anywhere in the blast, would probably have gotten it. 2 of them are. Okay.
Okay, we'll save these 2. Blue, blue, blue. Yeah, that's great. All right, so this injured ghoul, Kay, the one next to you, just suddenly his eyes they just begin to disintegrate inside his skull, and he begins to grope around blindly. Any attacks on these 2 ghouls will have advantage. Anything they attack will have disadvantage. And they are unable to see the small Hinfolk wizard ever so close to the Whisper Skull. Kalna, do you want to stay exactly where you're at? Father Baird seems to be very angry you're tampering with his relic. You happen to be the only one next to the Whisper Skull at this time. Do you want to stay where you're at?
No, I'm gonna bounce. Sorry.
Okay.
It took me a while to figure out there. I was calling it a white skull, not Whisper Skull. Yeah, I'm gonna. I'm like, well, every time I call it a white skull, people are like, "What? What are you talking about?" Yeah, sorry. I'm terrified of it anyway. So I did my big grand gesture, and then I'm gonna bounce.
There are places to hide behind, or you could just go into the open space.
I'll probably hide, considering that I'm terrified.
Kay, now it is your turn. The ghouls to your right and left are completely blinded, giving you any advantage on your attack. The Whisper Skull still remains a mystery, and Father Baird chanting maniacally.
But you said that I'm frightened. So,
yeah.
So I have disadvantage, but that means if I attack this ghoul, it'll be a regular roll. And because she's scared of Father Baird, she's going to try to get away from him, but there's a ghoul between her and the exit. So she's going to smack him. That's a natural 1.
Aw. No. You swing. And you know what? We're going to make it a little interesting. Go ahead and make a second roll. I'm going to let you do a dexterity saving throw to see if you can keep a hold of your weapon.
Yeah, dexterity saving throw would be 23.
You maintain control of your weapon. How would you like
That's
to
good,
move?
because my weapon was my fist, and it was the fist that had the rib bone in it.
Okay. Well, are you going to follow suit with Frode? What are you going to do?
Yeah, I think she was probably going to use Flurry of Blows, but I think she missed so badly. I think she's too scared, so she's just going to run, and she's gonna run straight out the hallway. And then when she sees Frode out here, she's going to say, "Why are you out here? You should be in there fighting. You're a fighter."
I agree.
Go fight.
I'm on it. Do I have to roll for action if I want to do something with the bones I'm currently holding?
No. That is.
What I want to do is I want to use a dagger I have, and I want to basically pin both of them to the wall as a placeholder, so they stay not just loose on the floor, but they're pinned somewhere far enough out of reach they don't glow or have the magnetic stuff happen. And then I'm gonna run in the room to see what's going on as far as what's happening as all this is going down the room. And I don't know what's happening in there, I'm guessing, as I round that corner.
Yeah, just as you walk back in, you see pretty much everybody scattering away from Father Baird. He has this large shadow growing behind him. He's laughing. He's creating fear and panic. Birdie is, of course, trying to save Sister Garielle. There are a couple injured ghouls in the room, and the Whisper Skull still has the 4 bones remaining to be removed.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Well, I'm still keen on these bones to try to remove them continually. There's 3 of them gone.
There's
And by
3
the
of
way,
them gone.
the order you gave them was right foot, left femur, right rib, left tibia. Is that the order they would need to be knocked out, or would it be reverse of that? The other bottom up? But we don't know.
Yes, exactly. The only clue you've received is when Father Baird snatched the rib, he said, "Best to keep these farthest apart."
Gotcha.
Dandelion ascertained, possibly that means ribs on either side of the equation. But there still remains the 3 left. The left femur, the left tibia, those are the leg bones, and the right malleolus. Tapping into both Joel and Frode's mental acuity, what would you guess?
Man. I don't know.
Would you like a clue?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're quickly surmising, you're looking panically. You left your dagger back in the other room, attaching these stupid rib bones together. You're trying to piece this puzzle together. Ghouls are slashing all around you, and Father Baird's laughing. Your whole team is running away. And go ahead and make a insight or investigation check. I'll let you choose.
Investigation is +7, so I want to do an investigation check, I think.
Yeah. So I can see, yeah.
So I got a 3 + 7, 10 total for investigation.
All right, so what you think in your mind, maybe if we put the 2 leg bones together, that would work.
Okay.
And that's all you got.
Okay. So then I'm going to go toward and see if I can take an action to swing and knock out or pry out the leg bone from the whole cluster of glowing bones.
So there are 2 of them. The long one, which is the femur, and the shin bone, which is the tibia. Which one do you go for? And you didn't roll high enough to... Shin? Okay.
Yeah, I want to hit lower and see if I can knock that off. It seems like it's going to be easier. It's further away from the core cluster of all of it. It's the farthest appendage down low. So maybe it's got less magnetic strength or something, so I'm going to make my action to swing for that.
And you are correct.
Oh, fantastic.
No joke. Yep. I let Joel choose, but yeah, you correctly chose the left tibia, which is next in the sequence. As you remove this, you brace yourself, right? You put your hand on there and you can feel the angry necrotic energy beginning to thrum. You're bracing yourself to be wrong, and you feel that sensation of clipping the correct wire. Same feeling, the magnetic pull. The tibia is now in your hand. However, you've burned all your movement. You are stuck here in this room. Okay.
So that's I don't have to roll for action or anything like that, right?
That's it. You're done with that.
Thank you.
Good. Okay, no joke. You got it right. 50% chance. Dan, how do you want to wrap up this round?
So Dandelion, he didn't get scared, so he's feeling a little confident, even though he was already kind of scared hiding behind the statue. So he didn't get frightened, so he's a little bit bolstered. He's like, "All right, Dandelion, it's now or never. It's now or never." And he's going to rush towards the one that Bertie's attacking and just try and stab his dagger into it. And he's going to get a 23.
Success.
And he is going to do... That one went. He's going to do 4 points of damage.
So cute. You stab him. So these 2 little hen folk just stabbing back and forth. Bertie, how do you respond to Dandelion's feat of feeble strength?
Wait. Did he kill him?
No.
Oh. I say something to him, but bubbles come out of my mouth.
Of course. All right, the ghouls go to attack you, Bertie. That's going to be a 17 to hit you.
It hits.
4 points of damage to you. Surprisingly, Frode, you find yourself... You know what? You find yourself alone in this room, but the ghoul goes towards Dandelion and one goes towards you. Frode against you. It's going to be an 11 to hit. Don't believe that does. You quickly parry it off with your weapon. And against you, Dandelion, a 10 to hit. nimbly duck out of the way. And of course, they get disadvantaged because of their color-blinded spray at this moment. They are groping around in the dark. Father Baird sees you, Kalna. He's going to take a shot at you. What is your armor class? 14, you're going to get a +2 because you're hiding behind a cover. So I'm going to give you a 16. He's going to take a shot at you. That's going to be a 20 to hit. All right. So guiding bolt. He prepares this surge of energy and it just crashes into you. 13 points of damage.
And I'm down 15.
Oh.
What's the, are you dead at 0 or something else?
Here's how it happens. So Father Baird just laughs and cackles, and as you curve around this enclosure, you hear the shadow almost whisper in your mind, "I see you." And the blast of necrotic energy slams into your shoulder and you find yourself face down on the ground. The way it works is every successive turn, you have to make 3 death saving throws.
Okay.
They're just straight D20s. You have to get higher than 10 or it's a failure.
Okay.
3 failures in a row and you are dead into the afterlife.
Okay.
3 successes in a row and you come back to life stable but not conscious. Okay, that's Father Bear's turn. The ghouls have attacked. And now it is Birdie's turn.
Right. So that ghoul that's standing, that's with Sister Gariel. How is it looking?
Good thing. Sister Gariel also makes her next death save. The ghoul is looking about halfway there.
17 to hit.
It does. How much damage?
8 points of damage.
Okay. It's hanging in there. Seems like it needs another dagger strike from Dandelion. Kalna, make your death saving throw, please.
3. So
It's 1 fail.
1 fail.
Okay. Kay, it is your turn now.
Make a charisma save again to see if I can get over my fear.
Yes.
13?
13 is enough, especially with you right around this corner. But I would like to know how is this successful?
So she just ran back and she was yelling at Frode to go fight. And then Frode runs off to fight and she's standing there and she thinks to herself, well, if that guy can fight, I can go fight. And so she puts the rib down. If there's a way to kind of put it on the wall next to the other ones that the dagger's holding up, great. If not, she'll just put it on the floor underneath the dagger because she sees that seems to be the right thing to do. And then she's going to run back in.
You gently place the rib collected on this little bone wall. You're back in the fray. How do you proceed?
So she's going to run around the corner here. And when she hits the corner, she's going to throw a dart at this guy, the guy that she attacked on the way out. And then after she throws the dart, she's going to continue running up to him and flurry of blows him in the face. So dart attack is natural 20 for 7 points of damage. And then her flurry of blows is a 17 to hit for 6 points of damage and a 23 to hit for 5 points of damage.
We smashed this thing to bits. Well, great round. Okay, next up, Frode. You have the tibia, the left tibia in your hand. What would you like to do?
I think it would be safest to get it back out into the hallway and pin it away from for the ability for it to get taken out of my hand and snapped back. So I'd like to run out in the hallway and pull the dagger out, put it up underneath, and slam the dagger in again under it.
That'll be your movement.
Okay.
So you have 2 options here. You can use your action to move back into the room, or you can do something else from a distance.
I want to move
Outside.
back into the room.
Okay. Do you want to go back towards the Whisper Skull?
Yes.
Okay. In that time, the blinded skull, he can kind of hear that your footsteps are tramping off outside the room, so he is going to take an attack, but it will be at disadvantage against you. That's good because it was a natural 20, but it's going to be a 9 instead. Don't think that hits. So blindly, this creature begins moving in the dark, clawing for you. You run out of the room, you run right back into the room, standing before the Whisper Skull. And with Kalna down, Father Baird then turns his attention towards you and says, I can see you are the brains behind this operation. I should have taken you down first. And Dan, it is your turn.
So feeling that dart and that flurry of blows behind him, he's going to turn around, and as he turns around, he's going to see Kalna on the floor. But he's going to just stick his dagger real quick into the one that's blind to see if he can help finish it off with advantage, right?
Yes.
13.
That's right on the money.
Okay. And he does 4 points of damage.
And that's enough.
And then he looks over at Kalna. It's all right, love. Get up. And bonus action, healing word. And he's going to get 5 points of health.
Twice in this adventure, Dandelion has rescued Kalna. But Kalna, the moments that you are brought back into consciousness, how does this appear?
Well, I'm still pretty roughed up. Thank you for bringing me slightly back to, because I was down 4, right? Yeah, so you brought me up to 1 hit point.
No, you were down 0.
Oh, okay, so it does say down. Okay, so you don't include it. So you just gave me 5 hit points. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a little worse for wear, but I'm grateful. Yeah, how is this for me? I'm back in the fray. I'm assuming though that the fear spell is done. That's been long. Okay, all right.
Not afraid of death.
Afraid of death. I've been there. I met death. I looked it in the eye again, and Dandelion keeps bringing me back.
Sister Gariel makes her final death save. Not kidding, she has done 3 successes, and you can see she is conscious at this point.
Yay.
The ghouls begin to attack Birdie again. It's a 19 to hit Birdie. And then with disadvantage, they're going to try and attack Joel. It's going to be a 7 to hit. It swings and is just clawing wild. It's just groping in the dark, waiting to hit you, and it has not made a purchase. Now, at the top of this round, the Whisper Skull begins to activate. It begins to charge with energy, and you can see it's trying to gather its bones back together, but currently they're too far away. So an earthquake happens, and the ground begins to split. Everyone except Kalna needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
13.
7. 10 for me.
7 for Birdie. And Dandelion?
24.
Okay, Birdie, you're the one. It's not depicted up on the map, but Birdie, the ground begins to open, and the ground opens beneath you, and you fall into a pit 10 feet below. You land on the ground. You do take 1 hit point of bludgeoning damage. If you're raging still?
Yeah, well, yeah.
So you don't take any bludgeoning damage then. You just totally just scrape it off. So as you fall into this pit, bubbles begin to burst forth from your mouth. You are now 10 feet below the surface of everyone else, and it's quite a steep pit. It seems as if the ground has opened up into the Underdark. The Whisper Skull retaliates. And then Father Baird's going to make a next attack against Frode. It's going to be 11 to hit you.
Yeah.
So a 15 armor class.
Yeah, so he shoots off this guiding bolt of electric necrotic energy, and you quickly dodge to the side. It splashes, nearly hitting Kay in the head. But Birdie, in the bottom of this pit, how do you want to resolve this?
Okay, I have a rope. I'm gonna tie a rope to the end of my axe, and I'm gonna throw my axe up and try to hook it on the edge of the pit.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead and make a athletics check. You have advantage on that since you're raging, by the way.
Are the bubbles a feature of rage? Is that why you're talking? Okay.
Yeah, for the wild magic, yeah. Do you want to do high risk, high reward?
Yeah.
Okay. What did you get?
An 11.
That doesn't make it. Okay. So your battle axe just goes flying through the air and it barely misses the head of this ghoul. But it goes sailing clear over and your battle axe is lost. It clanks on the ground right next to Kalna and slids alongside her feet.
But
Kalna, you see
the rope is still tied to it, so I mean, does the rope fall back into the pit?
Yeah, I imagine it's a 50-foot rope. It's within your possession, but it did not find purchase.
Okay.
Yeah. Bonus action, anything else?
Nope.
Reminder, your rage will drop if you do not take damage this round.
Okay.
She took the 1 point.
But she was raging, so it negated. Yeah.
Punch yourself in the face. Punch yourself in the face.
Nah, I'm down a lot of hit points, so.
All right, so Birdie stays in the hole. Kalna, the blades, skates next to your feet. How do you want to spend your turn?
Did I see that Birdie was swallowed up by the earth?
Yes.
Well, I can grab the axe and basically surmise it's like attached to a rope, surmise what Birdie was attempting to do, and hit the axe into the ground so that she can climb up it.
Nice. I'll allow that as an interaction. So you still have an action if you want to progress.
Okay. Is it assumed that I make it because I'm doing it with?
Yeah, it's easy enough. Like I described it as being very close to your person, so you could kind of like just anchor it into the sides of this ruin.
Okay.
Birdie, you feel the rope go taut.
All right.
So Kalna, you can actually progress with an action if you'd like something else.
Okay, so to get caught up, all the ghouls are down?
There's actually two left.
There's two left. And one of them is still blinded, or the two that are down, the ones that are blinded?
One blinded and the other one is really hurt.
Okay. The one that's really hurt, I'm going to do a snowstorm swarm or snowball swarm. Is that possible or no?
Yes, you would be affecting Sister Gariel.
Oh, I would be. Okay.
Yeah, it would be area effect. So.
Got it. Okay, so then what about the blinded one? That's not.
You could do that too, but Frode would be in.
Got it.
Area effect of that. So
Okay.
It's up to you.
No, I don't want to. If I can think of an alternative other than hurting teammates or team members, then I will do that. All right.
Father Baird is very out in the open.
Oh, that's right. I didn't think I could hit him before because I was afraid of him. All right.
You used to be.
I used to be, but I'm not anymore. In fact, I'm salty about all of that. So I think I will attempt to hit him with the snowball swarm.
Well, he fails. 10, yeah. Yay. So you get to do 3d8 of snow damage to him.
3.
Lucky 6. You might get it.
13.
13 total. Nice. There's not a light drift, but this large blizzard just tears through in absolute anger and rage, freezing most of his beard and blasting him with his icy. His face is completely frozen over, but it's not enough to do him in. He calls out to you, "I see you, wizard! I see you! With that power, you could join me. Join us." Kalna, do you want to stay where you're at?
Oh no! I'm gonna run to the. I'm gonna get out of his field of vision if at all possible. I'd like to hide someplace if possible.
Okay. It just gives you. Yeah, you could completely get obscured from his vision.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, Kay, it's your turn.
Kay's gonna yell out. He's growing. What's next? Which bone's next? And she's gonna start running over to Whisper Skull, hoping that somebody says something to her before she gets there.
Yeah, anyone who wants to say something could.
The leg
Frode,
bone's connected to the leg bone.
Yeah, great song. So which bone would you pick with that piece of information, Kay?
She's going to grab the left femur then.
Okay, go ahead and make an athletics check.
10?
10 is right on the money. You pull the bone left, there are only 2 left. The power is beginning to diminish. Did you burn up all your movement speed?
No, I only used about half my movement, but I also can use my bonus action for an unarmed strike. Can I use that to try to grab another bone?
High risk, high reward.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Right,
I'll let you do just an attack roll, and you're going for a 10 or higher.
All right. She's going to try to grab the foot.
It's the finger.
14.
Success, man. Definitely, this elvish monk just just begins to collect these bones. Now you have these 2 magnets pulling and holding you in place.
So she was here and she moved down here. She actually has enough movement to get all the way back out to the other pieces. So she's going to run away.
Monks and their speed. You start parkouring off these crypts back and forth and do like a double flip. I can imagine your legs like catching this ledge and then propelling you, holding both the bones as you skate on your knees towards this little bone collection that Frode started just a couple seconds ago.
On her way out the hallway, she's going to yell, "Get the last one!"
Frode, it's your turn.
So I am going to make a move to try to undo the right rib.
Make the final athletics check.
17 plus 5.
It is heroically successful. So, Frode, as you dismantle the power of the Whisper Skull and the undead bodies that are nearby, as you dismantle this power source of necrotic energy, how does this happen?
So I pull it. It feels almost like this. If you ever stand next to like a transformer that's like pumping out like electricity, you can almost feel the hair on your body stand up. It feels like that just got powered down. So all that sensation you feel, that humming, that electrical feeling, just powers down. You can feel almost like in the air, the crisp crackle in the air is like lessened, and everything, just everybody's energy, you could feel just gets a little calmer because it's not this intensity in the air.
The ghouls that were standing next to Birdie, you see one of the ghouls like creeping slowly close towards the pit, grins at you, and as soon as the energy drops, its body just goes slack and slides down into the pit with you, its final resting place. The other ghoul reaches towards Frode and just collapses at the floor of this crypt. Sister Gariel says, "Everybody, look what's happening to Father Baird." Father Baird begins choking, holding his throat, and he exhales this dark, smoky energy. He collapses to the ground too, his eyes no longer glowing green. And then standing before you is the shadow of Gal Basil, the weakened shadow of this ancient vampire warlord, stands before each of you, and in this small little interlude, with the exception of Birdie, whom he cannot see, Kalna, who he cannot see, he just simply turns his attention to Dandelion, and he says, "Young fair one, don't you know the time is coming when we will rule again?" He looks down at Father Baird. "Folks like him don't have the constitution to house my presence, but I am ever so grateful for his assistance." I look at each of you. Frode, he makes eye contact with you as well. Kalna, if you were to dare a peek, you could see this smoky form of a man standing before you. Birdie, you can hear a voice. "I am Gal Basil. Before you make any harsh actions, let me offer you a taste of what this empire can do. And he begins to enter into your minds and grow your powers. Frode, you feel sharp, mentally aware of everything else around you. You memorize details, everything in your presence for just a split second. Dandelion, he grants you total courage in the presence of everything that is terrifying, the ability to withstand all that's in your way. And Kalna, he simply flips through a book, an ancient tome, and says, my, what mysteries we have yet to solve, you and I. Would you allow me to come into your collective and resurrect the empire of Azarumme? Kalna, how do you respond to this invitation?
This is happening inside my head?
Everyone can hear his voice, but it seems as if he's right there talking to you.
Right.
You could hear the pages beginning to flip of ancient tomes yet to be unlocked.
Of course, the idea of that is absolutely intriguing and seductive. But the thing that breaks the spell is the previous memory that she had of the fear spell that was successful on her, or whatever it was. That was the absolutely intense, realistic image of everything that was alive being turned into cattle to be sucked on, and that actually breaks the spell. And I say no. I'm like the lie is in the seduction. You're gonna turn us all into it. You're the mosquito, and we're just gonna be sucked dry. So no, I deny it. I shake it out of my head.
Frode, with the last bone in your hand, as he grants you this brief insight of the ability to have everything around you sensed and in control and aware. How do you respond?
Man, this is tough. I can feel the pull for this. This would be something so powerful. And I've got a remnant though of the pain that's been happening and the difficulty.
You are powerful. You, Frode, are power.
I resonate with this. This is tough. I don't know what to do.
Look around you. Who accomplished all this? Who led the team? Who solved the mystery? Who leads?
Yeah, but I'm not a leader. I'm just doing what's needed here. I don't think I'm qualified to be in charge of anything. I'm going to deny this. There's no way I want that responsibility. And then I shake it away. I pull away and I shake my head and be like, what the heck?
Dandelion, dandelion. To be unafraid, to have your heart beat inside your chest, not for fear, but for power, control of your own nerves, not hide behind in shame, but to stand proud. Frode and Kalna have already informed me that they are joining. What say you?
So Dandelion actually really likes himself and likes the fact that he's afraid because it keeps him alive and keeps him around other people, because he realizes he's stronger and he's a bard, so he loves to be around people. So he's just gonna think about that and be like, they can go. No thanks, mate. I'm about to hit the road. This is the last job of the year, I'm all good though, thanks.
No wonder you're cattle. And he goes towards to slay you. He moves past Frode. He goes in for a reaching grasp. Birdie, at that moment, you are pulling on the tight rope. You can feel your battle axe secure and faithful on the other end, secured by Kalna, and you breach the top, and you see this smoky being going straight towards Dandelion. How do you respond?
Am I still raging? Do I still have
No.
some? I'm not raging anymore. So I'm going to go punch it.
You're gonna punch a ghost.
I'm gonna go punch a ghost.
Make an attack roll. Kay, you're on deck.
That would be a natural 20.
You successfully wrangle this ghost. You don't necessarily do any damage to it, but you place it in this chokehold right before it goes to Dandelion. And we see this image of Birdie just floating mid-air, strangulating this pile of smoke, this sentient being going straight towards Dandelion. Kay, how do you resolve this situation?
Kay is running back in, and she sees Birdie playing with the ghost, and she sees Father Baird laying there, and she's gonna run and try to punch the ghost. Also, she's gonna jump up and try to attack the ghost. Well, I guess she sees Birdie grappling the ghost, right? So I think she's gonna try to grapple as well.
Okay.
Just try to grab onto the other side and wrangle it down to the ground. Ooh, that's an 11.
With advantage?
Oh, with advantage.
Yeah, because Birdie's grappling it.
11. Yes.
Okay.
The other roll was a nat 1.
Collectively, you're trying. That's 2 nat 1s, by the way, tonight for you. But you're pulling back and forth. A situation is not resolved, so everyone make a Constitution saving throw. I feel bad for Kalna. You better roll high, Kalna. Everyone make a Constitution saving throw. Kay, what did you get?
I had a -2 from last session. Is that still active?
Yes.
Okay. And I got a 2.
2, bad. Dandelion got a 10. Birdie,
I have a 24.
tough. Frode,
+3, 5.
ooh, Kalna.
My constitution, I got a 9. My D6 modifier, I'm assuming, is no longer in effect.
You can use it.
Can I use it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm at, let's see, where's my D6?
On 6.
All right, fingers crossed. It's 2, so that would be 11.
We had to break a 10.
Oh.
So everyone, let's see, Kalna and Birdie take 4 points of necrotic damage, and everyone else takes 8.
Ow.
Yeah, so Birdie, are you still up?
I'm still up.
Okay, it's your turn then. You've got this ghost strangulated, and it just, what he seems to do is he seems to blast this abyssal energy throughout the room. He just simply says, if you are going to withstand me, you will have to stand up against me. He looks over at the Whisper Skull and snarls at the idea that it's no longer glowing, that his relic is no longer activating corpses. And he says, but I'll turn you into corpses soon enough, and in time. But before he can finish, Birdie.
Is he a creature that I can do physical damage on?
Yeah, anything you would do to him might not be as powerful, but he is very weak and fragile in this state.
Then I'm gonna punch a ghost.
Okay, no rage. You're just gonna stay.
I'll rage. Sure.
It would be wild magic, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see.
Good thing this is a one shot.
48.
The double bubble?
Ooh. Okay. Birdie. Tell you what, I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna let you run with it. Okay, so Birdie, the scene set you just strangulating this shadow and trying to end its life to finally finish this situation. And what occurs? And if you could like fold into that how you are raging, what does it look like?
The bubbles have dissipated, have gone away, but my true sort of spirit has started to emerge and then form a unicorn right next to me with a giant, horn. And the unicorn is going to attack the thing. the smoke monster. I don't know how to do that.
No, yeah, this wild magic channels this celestial being, and all of a sudden this unicorn stands there and just sees this evil entity. And out of the goodness of its heart, out of the protection of all that is there, he just simply rams through this shadow, dissipating it. And then he looks back at you, Birdie, winks, and disappears back into the heavenly plains. Birdie, you fall to the ground, the shadow completely gone. And after this battle, after this shock, after this abyssal energy, like Frode says, the energy seems to stop. And you can feel the room be quiet again. You hear Sister Gariel's soft breathing. You hear Father Baird's panting over in the corner. Kalna, to what do you pay attention to, and how do you respond to this situation?
Oh, I'm paying attention to the celestial unicorn that just rammed its horn through the shadow beast. That's what I'll be paying attention to. I'm like at 1 hit point, so I'm pretty, yeah.
So the unicorn takes a look back at you, and right before you see him walk through this glowing door, he stops for a second and looks back and says, young henfolk, you look worse for wear.
I am worse for wear.
I can help.
I would love to be helped.
I'm actually quite skilled at that. And he does a total of 14 healing to you.
Ooh.
As he just simply nuzzles you with his nostrils and kind of pushes you off to the side in a very equine-like fashion. Nevertheless, you can sense his angelic presence, as he's no ordinary beast. You're not in a happy place. What's someone like you looking into a dark crypt for?
Almost talking over myself, I quickly try to summarize the story and go, and they're all gonna turn, it's the Empire of Azarumme, and they're gonna turn us all into cows.
And then he establishes a telepathic link with you. His eyes begin fluttering and receives all the information all at once. And you find yourself linked to this creature without having to speak. And then he leans forward in his thoughts, and he says, the father was just desperate. Money can be a great motivator. And he turns and smiles and leaves towards the portal. How do you interlude with everyone?
Well, I'm assuming I'm quite taken with everything that just happened, and I stumble out, and go, and it's hard to communicate it, but I think the unicorn just healed me, and it was amazing, and I'm kind of a light with all of that. But then I go, but he said that you were desperate. Who gave you money? And I ask Father Briar that. Like how did you get into this mess?
Yeah, and Dandelion and Kay, you can see Father Baird is in severe need of medical attention.
Well, do something, Dandelion.
Oh, right. I mean, I don't know. He's been a good lad, and he's had good chats with me and stuff, but I've quite got used to Sister Gariel knowing all my dirty little secrets.
Dandelion, you sorry SOB, heal Father Baird.
Oh, yes, ma'am, right away. And he'll use his last...
I don't want to hear another one of your dadgum confessions.
He'll use his last spell spot, and just, all right, warm up a little bit. You're looking a little frosty on the beard there.
Father Baird sits up to you in all your experiences and your hearing as you lick your wounds and nurse your bruises. Shame overtakes his face as he looks through all the extent and the work you did and the mess that has been made. He says, money can be a great motivator, but the lack of money can be worse.
Come on the road with me, mate. You'll be my manager. I'll take care of you.
Dandelion, I've missed you.
I just hope you still have enough money to pay us.
It's hidden away. I did not mean to activate the Whisper Skull. I was looking for lost treasure here in the crypts. Sadly, we owe a great deal to a group of pirates, and they were coming into town to enact kidnappings until we could pay the ransom. He coughs for a little bit, leans forward to the side in pain, and struggles to get the last bit out. I did what I thought was right, but I fear that I have only attracted the eyes and attention of a greater evil.
Birdie just goes and sits down next to him and hands him her flask.
Kay walks over to Sister Gariel.
She speaks to you in Elvish. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I want to get paid and go on vacation. By the way, those crazy bones are out in the hallway. I don't want to tell him because he was dumb.
No. I know. Humans have a way of having a very short foresight. We need to find a place to scatter those bones as far away as possible. And she looks at Frode, Dandelion, Birdie, and Kalna and says, maybe we could hide them, and then after y'all get done with your vacation, you could come pay me a visit. And so for now, our story concludes. Epilogue. Kay, how do you spend your month of Sabbath?
Assuming she got a nice chunk of change, she's going to spend a little bit of time with her family. You know, her dad has done some questionable things and has a little bit of a poor reputation, but she still loves her family. So she's gonna spend a little bit of time with them, and then I imagine she's traveling. She's a free spirit, and she just wants to be out checking things out. So she's running around, probably pranking people and doing goofy stuff, but just seeing new places.
Birdie, how do you spend your Sabbath?
She has developed a new sport of throwing dead things down a well. She's gotten all the kids in the town in on it. And then she also has built a distillery.
Dandelion, when we look upon your Sabbath, what do we see?
Well, he's not resting. He's out working, honing his craft. He's a bit of a juggler, a bit of a poet, and he does finishes with a big fire eating. He takes one of his daggers, sets it on fire, and eats it. And just, having fun.
And Kalna, how do you spend your month of Sabbath? What do we see?
Well, Kalna has a hermit background, but she didn't dig it. She actually kind of went a little crazy while she was alone the entire time. And at one point she had thought that she had an invisible friend that was a unicorn. So this unicorn's really messing with her. So she's gonna spend a portion of her Sabbath at I don't know where the largest collection of books would be, where the largest library would be locally, but she's gonna go check out. First, she was really weirded out by that whole Azarumme thing, so she's gonna go do some research on what Azarumme is and try to get up to speed as much as possible on that. And then lots and lots of research on who that unicorn could have been and what kind of celestial being it was, and get a little bit obsessed with it.
Nice. And Frode, when you spend your month of Sabbath, what do we see?
He's got a equivalent of like a trailer in the woods where he goes to hunt, fish, hang out by himself. He's got a job at the end of the month for about 2 weeks. Then he's going to go do some sharpening and mending of his weapons training and practice. Just keep himself sharp before that next job hits in about 2 weeks or so.
Eat, ready to go, and Sister Gariel is waiting in her cottage. She stands up before those of you who do arrive. She rolls up her sleeves, and you can see there's dirt under her fingernails where she has been planting her herbs and flowers. And so our story concludes. Well done, everybody. This is a production of Sojourners Awake. If you enjoyed the background music, visit Tabletop Audio at www.tabletopaudio.com. If you enjoyed this adventure, check out Wonderful Adventures at www.arcanelibrary.com. May your story continue.